Guns we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills nights get loud. Big EQB, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it again on a Sunday. Unfortunately, the last day of a couple weeks of having extra days off. Back to the real world, back to normal life. And I just mean that as in more work, back to work, back to the grind. Yo, Tyler Fish, what's up? Tyler Fish in the chat already. Antoine Willis back in the chat too. He said he's gonna shower, then pulling up. All right, sounds good. But yeah, appreciate you guys for jumping in quickly. As usual, I appreciate all of it. What the hell? Okay, something just flickered out, but I'm good. Yeah, so what's up, everybody? Just here on a Sunday, dreading tomorrow, but also I'm fine. I'm good. I'm just ready to go. It is what it is. Grinding through this layoff from the UFC is harder. And that's just because finding the time, you know, that's the only good thing is the back to school, Tyler. Damn. I don't know which is worse. At least at school you get to hang out with some people and but yeah, no UFC. That's my biggest problem right now is, you know, everything else I'm used to. It's just going back to the grind and doing work stuff and being responsible, but also still not having UFC to come back to. It's like usually you have a couple weeks of Christmas and New Year's and then it's like back to it. We got some fights coming up, but we don't have that. So we still got a few more weeks. I think we're only halfway through this stupid layoff, which sucks, but hopefully pretty quickly here we'll, you know, it'll feel like it didn't even happen. But I was looking at the schedule because my daughter was actually paying attention. My older daughter was actually paying attention to the schedule, and she was like, I guess I got mixed up. She was saying something about how there was no UFCs in February, and I'm like, wait, what? And she meant there's no numbered events, like no what would normally be pay-per-views. So that's what she was talking about, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was super confused. And then I saw the graphic that she saw, which was the schedule for the UFC, and really what that is we're gonna have the two numbered events coming up in the 24th and then on the 31st. And just like Tyler just said, yeah, but technically there is one. And yeah, I think that's what it is, you know, in Australia it's going to be the 1st of February, but for us it's still going to be the 31st of January. So I don't know if they're, because it's on the cusp and they're doing two in a row back to back, that's why they decided not to have one for the month of February. But we do have 3. I mean, that's what kind of sucks. We only have 3 events. I'm trying to get to, I know I had the picture. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me bring it up real quick so I can make sure. PFL miss out during the 6 weeks of, yeah. But are you surprised? I mean, I'm not surprised that they're not doing shit. They're the worst at promoting, and yeah, they're just not great at doing all that, taking advantage of the times. So yeah, UFC 324 on the 24th, UFC 325 on January 31st. Oh, that was Johnny. I don't know why. I thought that was Tyler that said that. So what's up, Johnny? Welcome back in. Appreciate you for coming back and the input, because you're right. PFL missing out big time. They don't know what the hell they're doing. But then February, we have the 7th, the 21st, and the 28th. So we have one fight night in February, the first weekend, and then we have a week off, and then back-to-back weeks in February, which is, February is already a short month. I don't know why the hell they're not going. Whatever, man. Poverty Fighting League. Shit. Oh man. Already with the hard ones coming in. So then March 7th is UFC 326. Uh, um, March 26th is, March 7th is UFC 326, and then March 14th is the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. So March will be the first month we get back to the normal schedule where we have one numbered event and 3 fight nights. So January, back-to-back numbered events, which is great because that means we get back-to-back supposedly really good fight cards, but that's what the way it's supposed to be. But will it be that way? I don't know. But I mean, we know that 324 seems pretty damn good. What we've seen at 325 is not too bad as well. So, but how are they going to turn out is what I'm saying. It can look like a great card, but we got to see how it turns out because we've seen the worst come out of what looks like the best. And then February, one Apex card, and then Houston, and then Mexico City. The 7th will be in Vegas for that number for UFC 326, and then the Apex for the next week fight night, then London, then Seattle. Patty versus Gaethje should be fun no matter what. I sure as fuck hope so, man. Poverty Fighting League should have 2 numbered events in February. Yeah, but they're not going to. But they're not going to. But that's just how they are. It is what it is. So yeah, I mean that's what we know of so far for the first 3 months of the year for the UFC. And yeah, I mean, moving over to Paramount, I'm sure they have to put on the same amount of events. But I feel like they're just gonna stack a couple things here and there, or maybe they're just wanting to change it up. But it just seems kind of funky the way that they've set up the first of the year. They could have at least done like one fight night before they went to the 2 numbered events, or done like 324 a fight night and then 325. I don't know. It could have been structured a little bit differently, I feel like. But once we're going to get 2 numbered events in a row, and we don't have to pay $80 for them or search for streams. So, I mean, that's a plus. And that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today is like, how is the Paramount Plus going to work? Is it because, I mean, we finally get to see the layout. We finally get to see, what's happening with the content that we get to see how the content's going to be set up. So everyone was kind of posting about it and stuff like that. So I just wanted to kind of go over it because I saw some things I really liked. I saw some things I was a little iffy about. And then I saw some things that I wondered what was going to happen with it. And you guys have that super cool like portal thing with all the fights. Oh, you talking the watch party? Are you talking about us, or are you talking about like something else in general? But yeah, so with the what was I saying? Shit, I forgot what I was saying. Oh. Yeah, so I wanted to check out how Paramount Plus was set up and all that with you guys. I don't know if you guys have gone and taken a look. I mean, obviously, everybody that has Paramount Plus might have seen it already, but I wanted to look through it because I wanted to talk about some of the fights that they have up there. So it's kind of a blast in the past type stuff. No, Paramount has this like thing with all the old fights. Oh. Okay, yeah, so exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so all the fights from the 2000s, not all of them, but the big fights from the 2000s and 2010s. So Tyler, if you can't get Paramount Plus, or you don't have it because of being in Canada and all that, you'll get to see a little bit of it here. I mean, obviously I'm not going to play the fights because I'm not sure if I can. I'm kind of taking a chance with this one because I think it's a little bit of a, you guys are spoiled. I know. I guess we take advantage of shit sometimes, don't realize it. But I'm taking a little bit of a chance because I mean, I think I can show websites, but maybe not playing the actual fights because those are copyrighted by the UFC. So I'm not going to show the fights, but I am going to just go through and show what fights are up there because I wanted to talk about some of them. Considering, I'm looking for content and stuff like that. And to be straight with you guys, like I wanted to do a few other different things, but it has been very busy for me. Usually around the holidays, I'm not dealing with a whole lot. I'm kind of just like, hey, on the days of the actual holidays is when I'm paying attention to things and kind of busy. But normally, right, going around those days, I'm not busy. And this year, just had a lot of stuff to do. Me and the family actually, me, my wife, and my older daughter and her boyfriend actually, because my younger daughter had to work, unfortunately, but we couldn't figure out another day where the majority of us were off. But obviously, I'm Mexican. So, you know, around Christmas time, you always make tamales. That's kind of a Mexican thing. So, my sister, I usually go to my sister's house and do it with them and my nieces, but they did it on a date. The only day they could do it, we weren't available. That was when I was over in Phoenix watching the Falcons versus the Cardinals game for my daughter's one of my daughter's Christmas presents. So we couldn't do it that day. But you know, we got some of those and we're able to have some of those as well. But we wanted to make some and for ourselves, and I wanted to do a little bit of experimenting with flavors and stuff because I did used to cook for a living. That was one of my jobs back in the day. I worked as, I wouldn't say a chef because I wasn't like any kind of type of high-end chef or anything, but I was kind of the lead guy working at a steakhouse, and it was a pretty busy steakhouse. Yeah, technically line cook, Tyler, but I mean, I was like the guy on the grill basically that did, I did 65 steaks at once, all different temps, stuff of that sort. We would do big events because they had an event room and the regular dining. So when there was events going on, it was absolutely insane. Sometimes they would have two people on grills, but a lot of times you would just have to kind of get through it. So it was crazy. It was crazy, but I learned a lot about cooking. My mom taught me a lot about cooking back in the day because I was so picky of an eater. So I learned how to cook my own shit. And then I actually started working in the industry. So I did that for a long time. And yeah, I learned a lot and I continued to cook throughout. And I actually, educational, man. Oh, shit. All is good. You are fucking perfect timing, bro. Check it out. Here you go.
What's happening with you, man?
What's happening with you, man? I gotta drop because him just saying "main" by itself, it doesn't sound like much. It's too quick, it's too fast, it's too short. So I picked this one. I went through a couple different clips and I found this one, and I thought it was funny because it makes sense.
What's happening with you, man?
What's happening with you, man? It's good shit, man. I couldn't help myself. I told you I needed a drop and I got it. So maybe I'll find a different one or a better one or something, but I thought that one was pretty good because it's kind of like when you come in here with the main, I'm gonna hit you with that because it's perfect. It's like, what's happening with you, man? But anyway, yeah, so I was a cook and stuff, and I learned a lot of shit, which is why I do a lot of stuff on the smoker, on the flat top, on a Weber grill. I used to do a bunch of shit on a propane grill, but I kicked the propane out and went for, you know, the real fire, charcoal, and smoking, which is fun. Good stuff. And I smoke wings and brisket, and I've done brisket and pulled pork and all the good shit. I smoke my steaks. I smoke burgers. I've smoked everything. And yeah, this felt appropriate.
Smoke weed every day.
I've done that in the past too. But no, doing stuff on the smoker. I use the smoker as my regular grill. Honestly, I smoke pizzas. I mean, I don't really smoke them. I just cook them on the smoker, but they get that smoky flavor, which is nice. That's why I like cooking on the smoker. So, but anyway, I just got into that real quick, but we made tamales anyway. That was my thing. We didn't do a ton. 5.5 dozen sounds like a lot, but when you give some out, it's not really that much. Especially most people eat like 2 at a time. So a dozen goes pretty quick. And they're not huge. They weren't huge, but I did do some different flavoring and stuff like that. It was cool. Let's go. Canada just scored in the World Juniors Hockey Tournament semifinal. Damn. We're just watching some off the wall hockey stuff. Well, I guess Canada. Yeah. I guess. My wife was watching some, I think, what was it? Olympic trials or some shit yesterday. I don't usually watch that stuff, but I got into it a little bit. It was like speed skating or some shit. But yeah, I forgot all that stuff is on right now. So anyway, also while I have you right now, I don't know if you see that sign back there, that UFC neon sign. My daughter's boyfriend got me that for Christmas. So I thought that was pretty dope, and I put it there for now. I'm thinking I might switch it up. I might put the UFC, the ones that Infinity made me. I might put those over a little bit where it's a little more lit up, and then put that sign where that is. Or I might just change up my whole backdrop. I don't know. But yeah, the UFC sign is sick. I like it. And he's also the one that got me the Buffalo Trace, which is one of my favorite whiskey / bourbons, you know, whiskey, whatever. It's all the same shit to me. I like good expensive ones, but honestly, I'll take Buffalo Trace all day. Or I like Basil Hayden. I like a few different ones. 1792 is one of the ones I have back there. I do have a couple of expensive ones, some Eagle Rare, some Stag, some Blandons. I keep those for just special occasions or just sipping a little bit here and there if I want to, straight up. But everything else I make old fashions out of. So like I have right here. And that's what I'm usually drinking. But that's why I'm so like, I make my own shit all the time. Drinks and stuff like that, just because what's the McGregor whiskey? Oh, Proper 12. Proper 12 is not very good. It's okay if you want to mix it with something like some Coke or something, but well, he does that a lot, doesn't he? But technically it's not his anymore because he sold it. But yeah, that's the whiskey he had. Now he's all into the Irish Forge Stout, which is his beer. That's what he promotes the most now, because he you know, sold and got away from the Proper 12. But yeah, I mean, it was all the big rage in the, you know, when he brought it out. It wasn't too bad. It's not too bad. It's not like it's garbage. But what's up, guys? Hope y'all had a great weekend. Yeah, you too, Antoine. Welcome in. Thanks for coming back, even though I know you had some stuff to do before you jump back in. But I appreciate you for coming back. Yeah, I saw that on his Insta. Yeah, he's all about the Irish Forge Stout, and then he's got his like restaurant, bar, and grill place that he's always shouting out to. But anyway, these shows have been weird, man, because I just been rambling and yapping and shit. Thank you for coming in. All is good, especially bringing the main, because until you did that, I forgot that I got that sound. So I'm happy you did that. Oh, hell yeah. That's actually, you missed it.
Smoke weed every day.
Because I was saying I smoke everything when I cook. And I was like, I used to do that too.
What's happening with you, man?
But yeah, so it was, you know, I do all that kind of shit, and that's just something that keeps me going. But I was saying I'm all over the place, man. It's just because, you know, you guys jump in the chat quick and we start talking about stuff, and I appreciate that because it gets it going. You know, once the events come back, I'll be back to a little more structured, a little more get into the nitty gritty of everything as soon, you know, sooner than normal. But I usually only ramble for about 10-12 minutes and then I get started. But yeah, you guys keep me going, and you interact and we talk. So I'm just rambling for a minute. But otherwise, yeah, I hope you guys had a good New Year and all that good stuff. I know I was here the first day? Yeah. But hopefully your time off has been great. I was lucky enough to not have to work throughout that whole weekend. I know some people went back to work on the 2nd. I didn't have to, so Connor might create his own version of Coca-Cola with a strong kick. You're not wrong. Continuing with our combo from last week, what were the #1 shows when you were growing up? It depends on the era, but I mean like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That show was dope. I mean, I can't even like pinpoint a bunch of shows that were on. I didn't watch a ton of TV for a while there because struggled a bit when I was younger, so it was tough. But I remember when I was a kid, yeah, Seinfeld. I didn't really watch that much of Seinfeld. I would watch one show here and there, like I'd catch one here and there, but like I wasn't big into Seinfeld. But I know I appreciate what came of it and how good the show was. Who was that athlete when you were a kid? Reggie White? No, I mean, really, I mean, Michael Jordan was like the king of kings when it came to all around, full on, you know, well-known athlete. It's just, it's been that way since he was around. I mean, I remember like baseball, Ken Griffey Jr. He was big for a while, and I think he's grown, you know, even more as the years have gone by. Like the legend of him, just for the way that he carried himself. But there was a lot of guys back then. Who would you pick between Carlos versus JDM? Oh man, I saw some concerning shit on JDM actually. I know that these clippers for these IRL streamers, they really just do shit for clicks, but the way that they're portrayed, do you think OJ did it? He for sure fucking did. 100%. We're never gonna know for sure unless there's some evidence somewhere that someone will bring up at one time, at one point. But yeah, why do you think people like Ken so much back then? He was 14-time All-Star and MVP, but from your perspective, I think it's because he was different. He wore the hat backwards during batting practice. He had that special stance when he was up there. When he was batting regularly or taking BP, he was a showman. He was a showman, and he just had a swag to him. You know what I mean? He just had a swag to him, and I think that people like that. And you know, you see a lot of these logos with the MLB symbol, except it's him with the hat backwards because it's just like iconic, I guess. Didn't he make the whole book about how he did it? Oh yeah, yeah, OJ. It was a if I did it, this is what I would do, but it was eerily detailed. So I think he might have. How many times did you go to? Dude, I grew up on Blockbuster Video, honestly. First it was just movies, but once I got into video games and shit, I was constantly wanting to go to rent different video games, and it was a goddamn struggle because my parents weren't about to take me to 2 or 3 different Blockbusters. They said, "Motherfucker, you don't find what you want here, you ain't getting shit." That's about how it went. There was no feeling bad and I want my kid to be happy. It was like, hell no, I ain't going to like 3 different Blockbusters. If it's not at the one we go to, you ain't getting it. So, and I wasn't gonna walk out of there with like 3 or 4 video games either. I got one. And I was lucky if I got that. So, yeah, but I went to Blockbuster a lot. We also had something called Hollywood Video, which is crazy because I remember that quite a bit because for a while I stopped going to Blockbuster and started going to Hollywood because they had a lot more, and I think it was closer to me too at the moment. They had a lot more selection and they tended to have more shit than available than Blockbuster would. That shit none of that shit exists anymore though. So how many times did I go? A lot. A fucking lot. So yeah. Library have okay selection of movie. That Mariners team was crazy. They had Ken, Alex Rodriguez, and dude, yeah. Randy Johnson. I forgot about A-Rod, that he was on that team. You just think of A-Rod as being a Yankee, but yeah, on that Mariners team, man, they were good. I used to collect baseball cards too, so I knew a ton of the players from back then, but I focused on the Braves. I knew all the Braves from the heyday, when they won the World Series in '95 and all the surrounding seasons around that. But yeah, there was a ton of good baseball players back then, man. That's why when I was talking about it last show, I was like, shit, that was definitely the heyday of baseball for me. The glory days, because there was a lot of good shit going on. Like I said, Ohtani these days, that's impressive. We definitely are, Tyler. I am, at least. I don't know how old Antoine is, but he's asking me how it was back then, which means he's younger than me for sure. But yeah, anyway, going back to the MMA, fuck. Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. We have like 20 plus Hall of Famers, but the Yankees have rings. Oh, you're 26. All right. So you're not that young, but you're still pretty young compared to me. I'm almost 20 years older than you. Who will be featherweight champion by the end of the year? That is a good question, my friend. Let me pull up. Actually, I should have them. I should have it here. Fuck, maybe not. Let me look at the rankings because I'd rather go off of who's actually in the rankings. Who did you say featherweight? Let's see, featherweight. Volk is, yeah, that's right. Volk is the champ right now. He's gonna be fighting Diego. I don't think Diego wins. I kind of reserve my no, because we got Movzar Evloev, like Johnny said. Um, we got Lerone Murphy waiting in the balance too. And then if Arnold Allen would get a little more active, I think he could be up there as well. And Eljo's in that division now. So, you know, with Eljo there, he always has an opportunity to jump in a last minute fight that could get him to the championship. If not, jump in on a championship fight because he's the next champ, because of what he did in his division and the fact that he's done well so far since he's been up here. If Mozart can get a shot, maybe. Yeah, they just got to give it to him. Top 10, I mean, Jean Silva, if he can put together a good win streak, maybe. Steve Garcia is the dark horse, I think. Steve Garcia has potential, man. I forget about Steve Garcia, as does everybody else, but that motherfucker's got hands, and he's got skills. So Steve Garcia is one of those guys that could quietly come up, kind of like Lerone Murphy did, and continue getting on, you know, some kind of a streak. He's on a 7-fight win streak already right now. I still believe Jean Silva can be a champ. Yeah, I'm with you, Tyler. He definitely has potential. Who would you pick in Murphy versus Garcia? I feel like Garcia has more grit, but Lerone Murphy has shown us what he can do. He hasn't been that explosive fighter until recently. So if that's what he's going to keep up doing, then I think it's going to be a tough one for Garcia. But Garcia's on a 7-fight win streak, man. 15 wins by knockout. I think it would be a fucking hell of a fight. I understand you picking Lerone, but like I said, I'm an underdog guy a lot of times, and I feel like Garcia is that guy that people don't think about when it comes to. I don't think undefeated. Honestly, Antoine, I respect your opinion on that one because I understand it. I make that argument for Khabib being one of the best ever because he retired undefeated. But I don't think that being undefeated is the sole reason for getting you everything. Also, he has super great defense, in my opinion, but you're right. It's a close fight. Yeah, no, and I respect the fuck out of Lerone Murphy, and I like him as a fighter. I like what he's done. I just don't think that being undefeated is the end-all, be-all, because I think until you get that first loss and we see how you bounce back from it, it's what I always say. How he bounces back is what will really be telling of how he can handle shit. Now, Khabib never had to do that, but he fought through a lot of adversity. So he's went away from the GOAT status. Sean Woodson? I like Sean Woodson, but I don't know about him being up for a title this year. But you never know. Look what Joshua Van did. CST, what's up? Phil, what's going on? If that's you, I'm pretty sure. But nice to see you back, bro. Good to have you in. It's been a minute. I haven't done much. I've been super busy, but I've been keeping up with y'all and everything that you guys got going. Josh is being a busy man. But, you know, I always tell everybody, go follow CST if you want up-to-date stuff because it's not just UFC. It's a lot of everything. So Combat Sports Today's in the chat, and they are here. And they're the channel you want to follow as well as on social media because they'll keep you up to date. I promise you that, and will always give you something to look at. I think Fluffy will shock the world and defeat Hamzat for the belt. Dude, I wouldn't mind seeing that because I really, really like Fluffy, man. I really like Fluffy, but Hamzat is this motherfucking demon. And regardless of the weaknesses we've seen out of him, as far as the health problems and all that shit, I think he's got this crazy demon inside of him that comes out and regardless of what happened with DDP, it was a trash ass fight. But I think that when you get an opponent that's going to challenge him, he's going to show something a little bit different. And I think Fluffy could bring that out of him. But I would love to root for that underdog because I don't mind Hamzat, but he's not my favorite. I like Fluffy a lot. So I would love to see that dude come up, just like Steve Garcia, too, like I was saying. Steve Garcia with his 7-fight win streak, man, 15 wins by knockout, 8 first-round finishes. Fuck. You gotta love that, man. And I think he's got a definite chance. You know, he's ranked number 8 right now, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think Umar will be bantamweight champion by the end of the year. I got Chimaev personally. I think he's too strong. Yeah, Antoine, it's tough, man. I wouldn't bet money on Fluffy, but I'm you know, I'd be hoping and crossing my fingers. That's for sure. Fluffy's really fun to watch. He is. He's so much fun to watch. Jesus Christ is king and he loves you all. God bless. Hey, thank you. Jesus Christ loves you. Appreciate you for jumping in. Thanks for the blessings. Steve Garcia can be champion in 2027. Yeah, I mean, but shit, things could happen. Things could happen this year. You don't know. We've seen some crazy ass shit go down. Like I said, look at what Joshua Van did. That motherfucker came up and rose to the top quietly at first, and then started making waves and making noise. And then, regardless of how he won that belt, he still got there and won that belt. Look what he did on his way up. So there's always that chance. If you're in that top 10, you ain't even got to be in that top 10. But especially if you're in that top 10, you could get that chance at any point in time. He's a great striker and wrestler, in my opinion. He had a close fight with a broken hand. Oh, for Umar. Yeah. Yeah, Umar has potential. Anybody seeing Merab come back? You think Merab comes back and gets a win and gets that title back at any point in time? Or do you think he had that run, and now that he's lost after that long-ass win streak and having the title for as many times as he did, do you think it's done for him? Because I think he's still got it in him. I don't see him slowing down from everything I've heard from, you know, the all of the people around him and the way that his work ethic is. I don't see him slowing down. But if Petr Yan fights the way he did in that last fight and Merab can't do shit about it, I don't know that Merab can do anything to stop him. Umar maybe, because it's a little bit of a fighting style change from Merab to Umar. And yeah, that could be a fun one between Petr and Umar. Merab is almost 36. I think he might be done. Man, it says the high schooler. God damn it. No, I'm just kidding. You're right. I think he's got a couple more good years in him, though. So I think he's going to get a good run going again and at least challenge for it one more time. We'll see if he gets that rematch. Do you think Merab should get an instant rematch? Oh, there we go. Defending it 4 times and no rematch would be sad. It would. I think because Petr did what he did in the fashion that he did and he kind of dominated. But it's not like we saw Merab fucking just fail. You know what I mean? He didn't just fail. He put up a fight, but he just didn't put up the kind of fight he had put up before. So I feel like there is a path for him. And I feel like he does, as much as Tyler, is talking about his age. I do think he's the type of dude, being as small as he is, that he will have a few more good years in him. And I think he'll challenge for that title one more time. If not, get it back once. Maybe he won't be able to have the same kind of run he had before, but maybe he gets it back once and then meets somebody tough and can't hold on to it, I think Petr wins in the 3rd fight against Merab. He knows he can back him up. Yeah, but that might be overconfidence, you know what I mean? What if Merab learns as much as Petr learned in that 1st fight? You know what I'm saying? I know that Jan might have been deficient in that 1st fight in many ways, but what if Merab changes things up enough and he still has that gas tank and still has that grit? This shit could change for somebody, you know what I'm saying? O'Malley is a sleeper. Yeah, I think we got to see something out of Sugar Sean. He's got to get that hunger back. He's got to get that killer mentality back, because it feels like he lost it when he started losing, you know what I mean? And he just doesn't, or near the end, when he was just near the end of his run, he just didn't seem to have that killer mentality. And what is it? That killer instinct. What is it? Is it the money? Is it all the endorsements? Is it all the Jake Paul and the companies? All of that shit. I mean, he's over here fucking trolling about getting a tattoo on his forehead of an actual brand. I know it was a troll because he said it in the end. It looked like he was getting tatted, but he wasn't. If you know anything about tattooing, my brother-in-law was a tattoo artist. He is a tattoo artist. He's done most of my tattoos. I learned a lot about tattooing. So I know what was happening in that video, and it's just spraying the ink on his forehead. He shows it after. But those are the types of things he's wrapped up in. So is he going to get back to focusing? You know, yeah, he said he stopped. He said he stopped gooning. He said he stopped smoking and drinking and all that shit. I don't think he needed to stop all that. I think that's part of what kept him going. I think he needs to be himself, but find that killer instinct back that he had before. So I feel like if he can get that back, he has a great chance. He definitely is a sleeper in that case, because if he wakes that side of himself back up again, this motherfucker can do something. But he's got to get there. He's got to get there. That's the only thing. If Sean KO's Song, Sean is fighting for the belt 100%. I can see it happening. Also, Merab dominated Piotr as well in the first fight. Yeah, but you know, according to Jan, he was deficient in various different ways. Hurt, you know, and all this other shit. Now I understand that, you know, everyone looks at that as a fucking excuse and all that, but you know, we saw the difference in Jan. So either he just got better, or the motherfucker really had some shit going on, and he just kept working and got better at the same time too. Either way, he looked damn good in that fight. People going to target Merab's body even more. That is one thing he needs to work on, because yeah, him screaming out in pain from all those body shots, it's either Jan hits that fucking hard or that precise. You know, it could be both. It could be one or the other, or both. But for him to be screaming out in pain like that, man, yeah, he needs to do some body shot work. He had it read around and everything. If Song uses wrestling, he can win. I believe that Jan had a broken hand in the first fight, right, Tyler? I think so as well. So yeah, that matchup between Song and O'Malley's interesting, and I'm definitely excited for that one. I would love to see Sean come back. I would love to see Sean come back and get those one punch KOs that he was getting. You know, we need to mix one of those in there somewhere. Where did that go? The killer instinct, that mentality, where did it go? It went away when all the money came in. You know what I'm saying? I was saying O'Malley had the skin around the fake. Oh. The fake tat. Okay. I got you. Oh, so they were doing it. Okay, maybe I what looked like. Anyway, whatever. It was a troll regardless. Regardless, you could kind of, if you know anything about it, you can kind of tell that it's fake. I didn't think he would really go through with that, but you never know. The motherfucker has crazy tats all over his face already. And some of them are kind of hard to explain why the fuck you would get that. But he's that type of dude. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, these divisions are definitely interesting, especially with, I mean, Volk and Diego are fighting in a couple weeks. So we'll see how that one goes pretty quickly. And if Volk looks as good as he did in the first fight, if not better, I mean, he got worked a little bit by Diego. He got hit a few times, and it showed a little bit of that. Showed a little bit of what getting knocked out and stuff had done to him. So you never know. But I don't know that Diego has what it takes to be able to get Volk out of there. At least not yet, unless Volk has dropped off in this little bit of time since his last fight. So that one's tough. But Yair's up there too. Yair seems to melt when it comes to getting those higher level guys. You think will be welterweight? Who do you think will be welterweight champion by the end of the year? Welterweight. That is the division that is hard, because Islam has all the aura around him right now to be able to keep that belt for a while. But that's not all that you need to have in order to keep that. But he's got the skills. But let's see what Shavkat does. I want to see Shavkat come back. I think Shavkat has the type of style to do something to challenge Makhachev. Ian Gary's a tough one, because we've seen a lot out of him, but I just don't know. When we see him get in trouble, you can kind of see the openings. You can see where things break down. And I feel like Makhachev's the type of dude to take advantage of that shit and really break him. Michael Morales is interesting, but bro, hold the fuck on, man. Hold the fuck on. Like,
damn, son.
What the fuck was Michael Morales doing dancing around in a fucking dress in a dress with like makeup on and all kinds of shit, bro. That motherfucker, I don't know what's going on, because I seen some shit from him before, and I'm like, either this motherfucker likes to play some real deep, dark pranks, or he really enjoys being in that dress. Now, I don't want to fuck with him because he can fuck you up. But bro likes to be in a dress a little too much. At 170, I see no real competition unless Morales lands a perfect fluke. Apparently, it's tradition with Ecuadorian men. Whew. All right, then.
Hey, no Diddy, man. No Diddy.
I guess. I just think it was festival. Okay. Fuck. I hope so, bro. Cause I saw something of him walking around at nighttime, not being at a festival, doing some weird, which other people might be doing something strange for a little change. It seemed like he might have been down that road for a minute, but I don't know. This is just speculation. I'm just laughing it up. Oh man. I don't know, bro. That just reminded me though, because I saw his name and I'm like, holy fuck. I don't think Bilal's coming back to get that belt. It ain't gonna happen. I don't see it happening. Sean Brady though, Morales might have taken his ass out, but Sean Brady's one of those dark horses too. But he does seem to break a little bit when he gets up with those upper echelon guys, kind of like I was saying with not Ian Gary, but Yair over in the bantamweight division or featherweight division. So Kamaru, they're saying Kamaru's gonna get the next shot. I don't know. Laughing my ass off. He's paid for sure, especially after that KO in New York. Diddy and Morales is going to do an album called No Way Out too. Oh shit.
What's happening with you, man?
Kamaru is ranked number 8. Yeah, he is. I'm looking at that right now. He is ranked number 8. But they're talking about him getting the next shot. You know what I mean? Makachev saying it. Fucking everybody saying it. I don't know, man. I think, fuck. It's but Carlos Prates, though, that fool as well. That's a classic album, though. No way out. It is. It really is. I as much shit as you could talk about Diddy, man. He's got some bangers, and he's got some good music. Is what I meant. That's what I meant to say.
Hey, no Diddy, man. No Diddy.
Victory is probably one. For some reason, I didn't really like Victory that much, to be honest with you. But that's just me. That's just personal preference, I guess. Him and Mace, bro. When him and Mace were doing their thing, that was. What up, Infinity? Infinity, did you hear the drop yet, man? Did you hear about it, man? Let me play it for you, man.
What's happening with you, man?
If the matchmakers don't say it, then everyone else can say what they want. Yeah, for sure. But when there's this much talk, that's what scares me. Because when there's this much talk about it, when all of the guys that have the podcast that know inside information and they just don't let on, or they say they don't know shit, but they do. I just barely caught it. Okay. But, like, Helwani talks about things as if he doesn't know about them, and then later he tells you he did know, and it all makes sense. So that's what scares me about all that. So you never know, though. It's crazy. But rounding out that welterweight division, number 10 is Joaquin Buckley. Buckley's not the type of dude that's gonna be beating. He's not gonna be beating those guys way up there. It ain't gonna happen. I just don't see it. So, yeah. Dana reportedly said John Jones versus Tom was a done deal. For when? Because Tom's doing this surgery shit. He's got motherfuckers telling him, like Bisbing, who knows, saying don't rush your way back. So John's not gonna. Well, John could wait forever, but he wants to be on that White House card. Makachev using the John Jones method, picking out the old head, former great, instead of one of the real contenders. Buckley height is a problem for him. Yeah, And I just think that Buckley plays too much too. You know what I mean? He'd rather he talks a good if he fought as well as he talked, or as much as he talked, I should say, because he doesn't talk well. I don't think his shit talking's great. But if he fought as much as he talked, he could be dangerous. But that motherfucker runs his mouth more than he runs those fists. But he's got some power and he's dangerous, so I can't say too much. But yeah. Fuck. Do you think 27-year-old skinny John beats this Alex? Eloquence, man. 27-year-old skinny John beating Alex? Like the 5-star version of John. Let's put it this way, man. Look at what that was at a lower weight. I'm gonna say, look at what Izzy did to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Izzy is kind of what John was right at that moment. The way that he was striking, the things that he was doing. But he wasn't as elusive as John. John wasn't getting hit as much back then as Izzy was. But John would wrestle Alex to a decision. Or poke him in the fucking eye, right? I don't know that Alex would sleep John. I don't know that would happen, but I do think Alex has a potential to beat him. I just don't know that maybe the only way he could is knock him out, which means maybe he couldn't. I don't think he has a big of a chance. We haven't seen John get worked like that. As much as I don't like John Jones, for certain particular reasons, I do think he's got the skill to be able to do a lot with what he does now. So John was already on top of that. He had 6'4" and 84.5-inch reach, the longest reach ever. Yeah. What do you think would have won between Rumble versus Alex? How the fuck does that happen? How does what happen? What was I missing? But who do you think would have won between Rumble versus Alex? I think Alex would have won. I think Rumble was that kind of marauder type dude that would run at you fucking full force with big power, but when he got caught, he would get caught. And I think Pereira definitely has the skill and the footwork and the punching power to be able to slip some punches and catch him, because Rumble would keep his chin out a little bit too much. People act like Pereira is just a pipsqueak to take down, even though Little Ankh couldn't do shit in the wrestling. Yeah, I mean, John getting KO'd, my bad. Alex destroyed Rumble. John arguably has the greatest chin ever. Never, ever been dropped. But AJ was super athletic. He was super athletic, especially when he got to that higher weight class. When he was cutting all the weight, man, that was fucking crazy. I can't believe he made the weight classes that he did with how big he was. Cormier would have submitted Alex. Maybe. I wanted to say no at first, but maybe. Like Anthony Johnson KO'd Glover in 13 seconds. Yeah, Glover was a different type of dude, though. Glover had his moments. I feel like he's a legend for sure, no doubt. But he had his moments. He wasn't that all-around great fighter, which is why he didn't become a champion until he was in his 40s. Which is, don't get me wrong, that's a fucking fantastic thing to do. The fact that he was able to do that. But Glover just had a lot of holes for a long time. DC could pick up Alex, in my opinion, 100%. Though if the DC that picked up Dan Henderson, I think so, yes. Alex Chin's Rumble, JJ Cormier, and I don't know about all that, bro. You're putting way too much into Alex, honestly. Like Prime DC. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's not KOing John. I think John can get KO'd. And I think if anybody could do it, it would be Alex. But I just don't know that Alex could catch up to him to be able to do it. But if John Jones came in fighting Alex like he did against the other Alex, which was Gustafsson, if he came in fighting like that, Poatan could definitely beat him. But that was John Jones not training whatsoever. His coach straight up said it, and him being on drugs and having all the other shit happening. Old head fighters like Prime John could murder. I don't know I mean, it's hard for me to argue that, honestly, Antoine. So I might have to agree. If you think Tom beats if you think Tom beats Aspinall, then Pineda would too. You mean John? Gustafson would have defeated Alex by decision, but John has great kicks and elbows. John was a great striker too. Prime John beat up old middleweights and was on PEDs. See, these are the differing. My only thing, Tyler, and I'm not trying to down on you because you got a lot of knowledge, and I'll give you that much. That's for damn sure. But did you watch these fights with John? All of them, because that, like, I don't know, man. I don't know that I don't even like John Jones that much, but I got to give him credit for what he's done. There's no way John can't take him down. If John gets down Alex, it's over. Shogun was 29 years old when John beat him. Shogun as well. Well, and the thing about him beating Shogun was that Shogun too, like, he beat him with that I mean, Shogun almost beat him with the armbar, but John was able to grit through that, and it was nasty. But then, yeah, he came back and fucking annihilated Shogun. And because Shogun, I think, realized, oh shit, my best shit ain't working, and then he got dropped. Lyoto was like 30. Izzy took down Alex. Lyoto counter striking would have been too much for Alex. I don't know about that. But this is all just situational shit. You know what I mean? Shogun and Machida are the old heads, plumbers. Just because they have a name doesn't mean they're says the high schooler. Tyler, I'm sorry. But some of these, you know what though? It was a different era. This is what my problem is with going from back then to now and trying to say who would be better, because the fight game was different. Like we talked about with football. What's the plumbers thing? Just Conor McGregor was a plumber, bro. But maybe you're just not talking about that specifically. You always have a different meaning, so I might be looking into that too literally. But like I was talking about with football, you bring those old guys back. And they can't do the same shit in today's game because of the rules. Like, Infinite just said it, entirely different era, I think you meant, and rules. Jones and Alex are about the same age. Besides Ankh, there are no other wrestlers in the top 10 in the light heavyweight. They were part-time plumbers, part-time fighters beating up the local milkman. That's a bad take, Tyler. They had to be part-time plumbers because they weren't getting paid like the motherfuckers are getting paid today, and these guys still aren't getting paid like they should be. But yeah, Tyler, oh man, he fucked up every dude that won the belt. Rampage, Rashad, Mauricio, Lyoto. Yeah, I think we're just looking at different eras, like Infinity said here, and I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Rampage was ass. Stop. This works perfectly. Let's get into what I was actually prepped, and because this I wouldn't use plumbers in MMA. Yeah, because like I said, man, fuck, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to argue that one without just straight up being like, you're wrong, 100% wrong. Because it's not even about me being in that era when I was watching, but this is the thing, Tyler. It's what he did in his whole career. Like what he did. I mean, I don't think Rampage was one of the greatest. I think he had one of the greatest runs in, putting it in today's words, in aura. You know what I'm saying? What he could do with those hands and his power slams. But when he got to the UFC, like if you're talking about just the UFC run, yeah, okay, I understand. But if you're talking about his entirety, his career as an entirety, like what he did in Pride, bro, not too many people were doing that kind of shit. But again, that was back in the day. Now, if you weren't there to witness that shit, and you're not paying attention to the overall perspective of things, it may seem like ass to you. But I'm telling you right now, man, if you were there for that time, it was a different type of shit. He had multiple KOs and was very athletic. But he was beating up mailmen and fire. You got to drop this, bro. You got to drop the mailman and firefighters thing, man. Everybody was doing that. Absolutely everybody. Tell me somebody from back in the day that if you think Chuck Liddell was the greatest ever, then guess what? He was fighting those same motherfuckers. I mean, not everybody can be fucking Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor didn't defend a belt even once. I can make a case for how ass Conor McGregor is, but you let the aura get the best of you. And because he's this massive shit talker and you like his swag, I'm sorry, man. You're making some bad, not nostalgia bias either. The modern fighters are more skilled. Yes, they are more skilled. Everybody evolves. But what I'm telling you is for you to say that these guys were ass is absolutely a bad take. I hate to tell you. Smoked gone when people kept saying, how's he going to look? Exactly. That's why the modern fighters destroy the old fighters. 3 fights in one night. Oh, 3 out of 4 fights in one night was an entirely different type of tough. Fighting for 10 minutes straight is not easy. Babe Ruth, man.
What's happening with you, man?
Oh man, I'm gonna stop this now, bro, because I don't know what else to say. You're gonna continue to say what you think and feel, and that's fine. You can have that opinion, but you're off, and I'm telling you that right now. You go to anybody that has followed MMA for years and years and years, and that were in that era. You can go to guys that are deep into MMA right now, and they'll still tell you the respect they have for all those guys that you're talking about being half-assed fighters. I'm sorry, it's just a bad take, bro. No problem. We all have bad takes every once in a while, but I'm telling you, that is a bad take. Yeah, we had that convo. I'm curious if he could compete today. What modern about Alex? He only does kickboxing. That's the thing. Yeah, he doesn't have a ground game. He hasn't shown us he does, at least. Yeah, he defended some takedowns. I mean, not from the best takedown artist in the world at his level. So if we want to go, it's just a bad take, bro. That's all I can say. Like Alex lost a fight before he even got to the UFC. Yeah, I'm not so sure that matters, but I don't know, man. It's a weird thing. Let's get into this shit real quick. I did have a couple things to touch on before we hit that Paramount Plus stuff, and we're already at almost an hour in. So I'm going to run through these couple things, and let's take a look at the Paramount stuff because it has a lot to do with what we're talking about here. We're going to look at some of these matchups of the fights that they have available for you to watch. And you know, it's not a respect thing. I'm just saying that Shogun just runs through Alex is crazy. Oh, I don't believe that at all. I never said that. But I'm talking about a lot of the takes. I mean, to me, you were just saying that basically all of the greats from back in the day weren't great at all. What's up, Tua? Welcome back. That to me is what it sounds like. And for me, that's just a bad take. It's a horrible take. So, you know, that using that as an example is a tough one because I don't know that. Yeah, Antoine just said it. I don't know that anyone actually said that, but it's just tough, man. You gotta. I look at all the Pride greats are great for that time. Yeah, no, I mean they are great for that time, but you have to think about their greatness all around. And basically, what Tyler's saying is that they weren't even great then, is what it sounds like to me. And I'm just thinking like, man, that's like everyone saying that in 10 years that Conor McGregor was good for the time, but that's it. If you threw Rampage into a modern light heavyweight division, he wouldn't be top level. Maybe not even. Okay, Rampage, you might be right about that for sure. So then maybe it was just a miscommunication because, yeah, it just sounded like a lot of fighters are timeless and can do well in any era. There is fighters that are that way, but a lot of times this is the LeBron and Jordan conversation that never ends. Shogun and his brother went nasty. Ninja Hua too, huh? Tyler did say that. Yeah, it's the Jordan and LeBron conversation that'll never end. Oh shit. Well, yeah, Tyler, in about 10 to 15 years, you might remember this conversation and be like, damn, I was an asshole. Not saying that you are an asshole, but you might feel that way. Because everyone's gonna be talking about your fighters from right now being ass in that point. It's a vicious, dirty cycle, man. Growing up sucks. Growing old sucks. So fucking Tua. Oh man. Yeah, it's a tough one, but let's get into this real quick and then we'll get to the Paramount stuff and talk a little more about the old fights. Starting off with Ilia Topuria's wife talking about a fucking dumbass. This lady is a piece of work, that's for goddamn sure. And I don't know what the fuck she's thinking, but she's playing the victim, playing up the victim part as much as absolutely possible. And she's named Joe Rogan in a police complaint. Ilia Topuria's ex-wife, Georgina, whatever the fuck her last name is, has named Joe Rogan in a police complaint alleging online abuse after he reacted publicly to a fake AI edited image of her that circulated online following her divorce. Tyler, here's when you can talk about the old guys being dumb, because yeah, Rogan getting caught by AI images, man, that sucks. And he has Jamie there, which I don't understand. I know he shuts Jamie down. If you listen to the Rogan podcast at all, he does shut Jamie down quite a bit. She might sue Joe Rogan for defamation. While there is no suit in progress yet, but if she can't even get lawyers to defend her as it is with the things she has going on with her divorce, because the evidence looks bad for her. So yeah, anything for a couple bucks. Yeah, exactly. But it's a little bit strange and a little bit weird how this has all come about. But during his reaction, Rogan criticized Georgina, I'm gonna say because I don't know how to say her last name, and referred to her as a monster, commenting on what he believed was an image of her posing with a rapper. It was later revealed that the photo was digitally altered and the original image was actually of Georgina and her brother. According to reports, Georgina's complaint highlighted the harm caused by the spread of manipulated images and the public commentary that followed, especially given the ongoing custody-related tensions after the divorce. Joe is constantly talking out his ass. It's funny. She doesn't have a case, Tua, and I'll tell you this right now. The reason why. Oh, and I forget, Tua's my he's my nemesis and everything because he goes against everything I say. So I'm sure I'm gonna get something coming back on this one, but she doesn't have a case for the simple fact that she is going after a damn near billionaire because she could possibly get money for it. She's not going after the person that put the AI footage out there, the AI picture that is causing people to say these things. She's not going after them. She's going after the person that said something about the picture that he didn't know was AI. I mean, that's just like hearsay bullshit. Tyler, here we go. Tyler and Tua, man, fuck. If that's true, Tyler, you know, you can kick me some over here because I may be older, but I ain't fucking balling. But no, it's just it really looks bad for her because she's going after the guy who's a fucking millionaire to the umpteenth, you know, example. Don't sue the small. Yeah, well, no, I get that, but you know, it looks bad because sure, she can call for defamation, but you can do that to anybody on the internet for talking bad about you. And I guarantee there's other well-off people that have talked bad about her because of what she's doing to Ilia, because Ilia is well-loved. So by a lot of people overseas that have a lot of motherfucking money too. So, shit, my audio just connected to my Bugatti. Oh man. What the fuck? Oh shit, what happened? Where did my I went to go hit a button and it went away. Where the fuck did my There we go. I got it back. My bad. I was trying to do this.
What's happening with you, man?
Not everyone on the internet have Joe Rogan's money. Yeah. No, I know, but like I said, a lot of people overseas love Ilia Topuria, and those motherfuckers got money. I don't know, man. Just everybody. So anyway, according to reports, oh yeah, I already said that. Okay, so yeah, it's just this dumb shit. I just thought it sucks that Rogan is seemingly getting worse at figuring out AI, even though we thought he'd be the one that would keep up with it the most, because he talked about it the most when it started becoming pretty prevalent. And unfortunately, he's the one, he maybe it's because he's on such a public platform and we're seeing it so often that he's just getting caught up, bro. It sucks. But I think it sucks what Ilia's wife is doing too. He forgot his tinfoil hat that day. With keeping his daughter from him and all this other shit, accusing him of domestic violence just to, you know, kind of get her way in the divorce. We see that a lot with females, unfortunately. But there's a lot of shit guys out there too, and it's hard to know the difference, but the evidence isn't looking good for her. I'll say that. My Bugatti just connected to my wristwatch. Oh shit. So yeah, that was it on that. I just wanted to touch on this boxing thing real quick because Serrano versus Tellez happened Saturday, and along with that fight, we also had the Holly Holm fight versus Stephanie Hahn. And the interesting part about it all is that Serrano, Amanda Serrano, had a little bit of trouble. She got her eye busted up pretty good on against a late notice opponent who did miss weight. She did miss weight. That girl's looking like a little thickum. Tellez was tougher than we thought. Yeah, who is the author of the AI image? Yeah, I don't know, Tua. That's what I'm saying. Like, why don't we find that shit out? But yeah, Tellez, she came to fight, man. Short notice fight, and after Serrano's initial opponent dropped dirty for some shit, it sounds like. So yeah, Tellez jumps in, and she's a little thicky, in you know, just in the fact that in boxing terms, meaning she's got some weight on her. Holm looked good physically, but was too slow. Yeah, and that's that's the problem with Holm. The age, man. I think the age, like, no matter how good she looked against her other opponent, she only fought one time since being a champ, or since being in boxing, like, what, 12 years ago. Yeah, Tyler, unfortunately, I don't know what the fuck else happened on this, because I didn't hear about shit else but the Holly Holm fight and the Serrano Tellez fight. So yeah, Tellez was pretty short. I did see that. But that girl put some hands on Serrano, man. For sure. And she busted her up a little bit, but Serrano she just dominated all the way through, and you know, she did what she does well. Yeah, boxing is tough, man. This is why I can't just get into it like I'm into MMA, but I followed it a little more just because, you know, I like to cover some of the stuff here. I like to cover all the combat sports, obviously mostly MMA and UFC, and, you know, for the most part, but I like to cover as much as I can. So this was an all women's main card fight. So there was only one women's fight in the early card. The rest of it were the men. But yeah, it's just something that MVP does. MVP puts the women in the forefront, which is pretty cool considering how much they hold women down in boxing. So MVP is making sure that they're getting paid well and that they're being showcased, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of that. Boxing in general is a tough sport to watch unless you're just a diehard fan, unless you get those quick fights too. Ronda Rousey going to KO KT. Oh hell no. I don't even know what drop to play.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Jake standing behind Serrano, not saying anything, was great. Yeah, because the motherfucker's got his jaw wired shut. Which, by the way, Infinity, I responded to you this morning and never sent it. I forgot. I opened my text messages after I left my house, and I was like, oh shit. I wrote the text and never sent it. I said some shit like, I bet he kept tasting metal though. Just because, oh my god, I'm stupid. Anyway, yeah, it was a tough night though. I mean, Serrano just shows her grit. She's a great boxer. She's great for the sport. She did have trouble though, and she did have trouble though, and you know, it's tough when you get a late notice opponent like that, especially somebody who misses weight too. But she went through with the fight and she got the win. Holly Holm unfortunately loses after that headbutt shit that happened too. But you know, she also didn't look great. Who's your favorite female boxer today? I think I said this, but I do like Skye Nicholson. I like her. I like the way that she carries herself. Not to mention she's pretty. She missed by less than a pound. Dude, she looked like she missed by a few pounds, but obviously she was quite a bit shorter too. But when I was watching the highlights, I was like, damn, how much did she miss by? And I forgot to even look. Either way, they kept making a big deal about her missing weight, and I was just like, how much did she fucking miss by? And I totally couldn't find it in time to 0.6 pounds to fuck. That ain't shit really. But still, it was a title fight, so it makes a difference. But yeah, I like Skye Nicholson. I do like Amanda Serrano, but she's a little bit on the Jake Paul side of kind of overconfidence. Not as bad, obviously, but I'm just saying she's got that Jake Paul money behind her, and you can kind of tell. Not to mention she's, you know, Puerto Rican and stuff, and they got this particular attitude that when you add that overly confident shit to it, it's a lot. But she's still dope. I think she's a great fighter, and I think she's really great for the sport. Who do you think would have won between Prime Layla Ali versus Clarissa Shields? Oh, Clarissa Shields all day. Prime Layla Ali wasn't what people might think she was because of her name. I think that she was a great boxer, but I don't think she lived up to the Ali name in the way that people might have expected. And I could be wrong on this, but just anything that I've seen, I didn't really follow Layla Ali much when she was fighting, when she was big, you know, when she was actually fighting during that time frame. I heard of her, you know, here and there, but I wasn't really following it. Oh shit, Tyler. I bet there was, because Ebony Bridges was on this fight card, and Ebony Bridges, if you know anything about it, just go look at her Instagram. Go look at her Instagram, and you'll find your way to a blue and white page that is a social media page of sorts that's pretty interesting. So but if you look at her Instagram in general, you're gonna know pretty quick why that is a great possibility that somebody was doing that, Tyler. Have you ever seen Ann Wolf knock out of Ward? I don't think so. I've heard no, I don't think so. No, but anyway, I was trying to think if I thought it was awesome. She damn near came off the ground. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, okay. Maybe I do know. Check it out when you get a chance. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Because yeah, I just didn't follow, especially women's boxing. I just hadn't followed that quite at all, really, until the past couple of years is when I really started paying attention a little more. So anyway, let's get out of this and let's get into what I wanted to kind of feature here for our last like 20 minutes or so probably, and that is UFC on Paramount Plus. We are officially in the era of Paramount Plus. It hasn't even started officially because we haven't got a fight yet, but we got the drop finally of all of the content. Speaking of OF, when's the Page Van Zandt? Oh my god. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do it. It's a tough one. Maybe I'll do a quick segment. I'm actually really excited to see what happens over the next 7 years. I kind of am too, especially if they came out swinging a bit with their website and how they did things. So we could take a look at that as well. I'll be 33 when it's over. Shit, I don't even want to know how old I'll be when it's over. God damn it. But here you go. Here's the, here's the website, and of course we land on Islam Makhachev at the weigh-ins. God damn it. But it's just scrolling through these things here, you know, the UFC countdowns, and they're showing previews. So it's kind of cool way to jump into it's kind of a cool way to jump into it, because, you know, they're giving you short previews of everything. And you know, as you can see here, you got UFC Fight Nights, UFC 2000s, UFC 2010s, UFC Embedded Countdown. The next one is numbered events that it's gonna hit to right now. But yeah, so you can go and click on these things, and you can take a look at everything they got going on. I feel they're trying to be more cinematic. That's a good thing, because back in the day, you know, we had some cinematic shit going on, and I feel like it was a good thing, honestly. Splitting up the decades is crazy. It is, but this is all they have right now. 2000s and then 2010s. I mean, they don't even have the, you know, 20s yet, even though we're only what six years into it. But there's, I mean, that's still a lot. But here's the thing. It is not it's not every single fight. It's not every single fight. So you get highlighted featured fights, basically. So I'm gonna jump into these here, but look, they have most recent clips, breaking news, Ilia Topuria stepping away. So, you know, and then reaction to Petr Yan beating Merab. But here you go. I liked these things, you know, how they did this, numbered events. You can just go here and take a look, and there's your little preview, same thing that we were watching just a second ago. I mean, this is pretty dope, man. I think it's nice. The way that they did it all, UFC numbered events in Espanol, in Portuguese, embedded, 2010s there. I watched a few fights earlier, and yesterday I was watching a couple fights just to kind of go through it. But yeah, I like the layout a lot. I like what they did with everything. I like how they, you know, kind of put it all there ready to be seen. I do not like some of the navigation, like the watch now shit. It's kind of confusing, because usually when you hit watch now, it's on, like, you've gone into the net, like using Netflix as an example, you've gone into Netflix, you went into the category you wanted, you found this specific show or movie you wanted, and when you hit watch now, you're gonna play that. So when you hit watch now here, your watch now countdown, well, which one am I watching? You know what I'm saying? So then you click on it, which I will do now, and it just brings you to this, and it shows you watch season 2 2025 episode 12. So you know what I mean? It's like, that's kind of what it does. But you drop down here and you see that you have these two countdowns that you can watch. And then this is from season, you only have 2 full episodes from season 2025, and that's it. So that one's kind of whack, but I mean, who gives a shit about the embedded? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not really what we're here for. What we're here for is stuff like this. Let's look at the let's go all the way back to the 2000s and take a look at that. Get out of here with this shit. See, this is sick. Even just this picture, you know what I'm saying? GSP, Matt Hughes, Iceman, Anderson Silva. I mean, that's sick. It's just cool. It's simple, but, you know, it has meaning. It's simple but meaningful, and, you know, it gets you a little pumped up seeing the Spider, the Iceman, Rush, Matt Hughes. I mean, it's dope. Look at this shit. UFC 46, George St. Pierre versus Caro Parisian. Tyler, do you even know who Caro Parisian is? I'm straight up curious too. I'm not even talking shit. I'm curious to know if you know who Caro Parisian is. Caro Parisian, I hated this motherfucker. The only thing I liked about him was that like he was nothing. I really didn't like anything about Caro Parisian. He was kind of fucking annoying. And well, apparently he's a cokehead too, from what I understand, or was for quite a while, and that made a little more sense to the way that he behaved sporadically all the time. But Caro Parisian was he was a good judoka. He had great judo, and I mean, that was the most of what he had. I mean, he had a little bit of striking and some ground game here and there, but the judo was good. I mean, along with judo comes some submission, so you got to give him that. I'm pretty sure he was living in LA at that time. Yeah. Yeah, he was wilding. But and he is, you know, Manny Gamburian's cousin, so the Armenians are crazy, bro. And they're known for that shit. So, but yeah, Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. Look at this. You want to know why that's all white? Because I watched this motherfucker. You know why? Because I love watching Tito Ortiz get his ass whooped. I love watching Tito Ortiz and remembering one of the reasons why he talks so stupidly today. But this is one of those defining fights for me that got me into MMA so much. I was like, okay, Tito Ortiz, first of all, Mexican last name, all right? You know, Mexican dude repping Mexico and America because he's Mexican American. You know, it's along, especially when I was younger, I'm like, that's along my lines. You know what I'm saying? Fucking running with Eminem's music and shit, bro. I'm like, hell yeah, this is my type of fucking dude. And then the motherfucker talks. And then the motherfucker talks. And I can't fuck with it. I can't fuck with it, bro. And I stuttered 3 times there on purpose because Tito Ortiz, if he ain't saying something stupid, he's stuttering the fuck out of shit. Holy fuck, bro. But anyway, oh man, Tito, he's so annoying. He's so annoying. But what was it was supposed to be 5 p.m. Oh, like 7 p.m. prelims. Oh, I yeah. Tito Ortiz is a genius, but we can't understand because it's too smart. Oh shit. But yeah, watching Chuck Liddell beat the living shit out of Tito, man. Dude, Chuck Liddell, when he was at his peak, fucking the hand speed on this motherfucker while he's throwing like winging punches, the angles he would find were insane. The fact that somebody like Tito, who is so bitch like, and sure it's smart fighting too, but so bitch like that he would literally do this and try to bring his entire arms over his head to the point where he could barely see to block shit and have the most defense you can have up there, and for Chuck to be able to find every angle to find an opening and be able to knock the living shit out of Tito Ortiz and break him down to the ground and make him, you know, just make it be done and finish him down there. I would say make him quit, but because if it would have gone a second or two more, he would have quit. But the way that Chuck just tore through Tito, the way that he would piece people apart was so sick. And while it may not have lasted as long as we'd all hoped it would, I mean, and sure, he may not be able to do much against the guys these days, even if you put prime to prime. I still think that Chuck Liddell was such a fucking just pioneer. Tito and Dana are best friends, fun fact. Now you're trolling. But do you think Chuck is top 5 light heavyweight of all time? If you take into consideration the era, yes. If you have to count every single era as in he could go through every era, no. See what I'm saying? Because what he did was crazy. And the way, but again, it's along the lines of Conor McGregor, except Chuck had a decent reign as champion and he beat some of the best at the time. So it's tough because Conor didn't really do some of that, but he did beat some of the best at the time. But you know, yeah, Conor jumped weight classes, okay. Conor was a double champion, okay, but he didn't solidify himself as a champion in either of those divisions by having one, much less multiple defenses like some of these guys today. And now you can go through today and when Conor was prime, and talk about that one if you want to as well, because like comparing his body, Chuck was 6'2", 76.5 inch reach. Yeah, and the way that he threw his punches was unique. You know what I mean? And it seemed like it was sloppy bar fighting bullshit, but he would find those fucking angles, bro. That was the Kempo fucking, what, you know, the pit. They would all train at the pit. That was that shit. They would find ways to make a unique fighting style. Holistic view, mate. You think Conor was talented though? Like the KOs over Aldo and Dustin were skill? Yeah. No, okay, he had this, dude, you cannot downplay what he did to Aldo because of the fact that he was practicing that move in the back, which means he was smart enough, or somebody in his camp was smart enough to know what they could bait him into doing. And if they were able to bait him into doing that, you got to talk about the motherfucking stars aligning to never have a big bang fucking of any sort, or any big event that was detrimental to the, you know, to the world, I guess. You gotta have the stars align and have some crazy shit happen for him to have, I don't even know where I was going with that. I was saying too much. But for him to have done that accidentally, like they planned that shit and they found the opening and they baited him to do it. And I say they because somebody in his team had to have been, yeah, like it was such a massive buildup and pulls it off within 13-second KO. To do it that fast too. People lost their minds wanting that live. Watching that live. Yeah. Do you think Conor was especially the Dustin fight, that was supposed to be his big test back then? Masvidal's flying knee level planning. Yeah. Yeah, because you got to think that's what would happen. Bro, you know what I just noticed? Next to the date on all of these, there's numbers in the millions. Does that mean that's how many fucking times people have watched this already? Or is that overall? Hold the fuck on. What does that mean? 19 million, 13 million, 4 million, 8 million, 10 million. What is that number? Anyway, yeah, so yeah, it's just tough. Like I don't know that Chuck is an overall outstanding top light heavyweight ever, but I think for a good chunk of history he is. So I don't know, maybe that doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense to me either, but I just don't know how to explain that. I feel like he's there but not there, you know what I mean? I'm on the fence. But look at this, George St. Pierre versus Jay Heron, who's now pretty much a stunt guy and acts in a bunch of movies. Jay Heron did a couple things, nothing crazy, but his name is known if you've been around. Chuck Liddell versus Vernon White, that's kind of that's an old school fight. Vernon White's one of those guys that was here, you would never remember him unless you said his name. Matt Hughes versus George St. Pierre, some of the best fights came from those two. We can look at, this is season 2004. Like, will they induct Jorge into the Hall of Fame? First ever BMF champion, 2-time title challenger, fastest KO of all time. 5 seconds will never be broken. There's a good possibility because those are things that I think could get him in there. They consider the BMF championship as an actual title to them, I think. So there's a good possibility. Look at this, season 2012, Chuck Liddell versus Jeff Monson. That's all they got there, which is crazy that they even have that. 2001, we got 2. Chuck Liddell versus Kevin Randleman, the monster. Crazy, rest in peace, Kevin Randleman. Marilla Bustamante, that's an old school name from back in the day. And fucking, yeah, he was around for a long, look at this, 19 million, 3 million. I want to know what those numbers are. I gotta find out because that's crazy. Let's look at 2002. Come on. There it is. UFC 35. Chuck Liddell versus Amar Sulayev. Chuck Liddell versus Vitor Belfort. Chuck Liddell versus Renato Sobral. Babalu, Renato Sobral, he was one of my favorite fighters for a long time back then. I don't know what it was. There was something about the dude that I liked. I actually have a signed glove from him hidden away somewhere. But yeah, so it looks like a lot of these earlier ones are Chuck Liddell's, but this is what I'm saying. They don't have all the fights, but they got some. Randy versus Chuck. 2003, 2004 was the one we were just on. So they don't have a ton of shit, but there's a good amount of stuff in here that could keep you busy for a minute. Look at this. Chuck Couture versus Liddell 2. That's the event recap. But you also have the fight right here. St. Pierre versus Jason Mayhem Miller. That was entertaining. Chuck Liddell versus Jeremy Horn. Jeremy Horn's another dude. And Suleyev is dead now. Crazy, yo. Oh, shit. That's right. I didn't even think of that. Chuck Liddell versus Jeremy Horn. Jeremy Horn was one of those guys that, like, you just kind of know his name. He did some decent things in the UFC, but, you know, he never got to that high level. George St. Pierre versus Frank Trigg, who is now an actual sanctioned referee for the UFC, or you know, that he's reffed in the UFC before, but he's a sanctioned ref and a judge, which is crazy. St. Pierre versus Frank Trigg. St. Pierre versus Sean Shirk, the muscle shark, Sean Shirk. Fucking crazy. Tyler Betts, what's up? Welcome in. We're just talking about some old school fights here, looking at the Paramount Plus layout. But yeah, the Sean Shirk obviously got busted for some fucking some roids. But his nickname's a muscle shark. Come on. But yeah, he was a crazy fighter, a champion back in the day. 2005. Let's look at 2006. We got Chuck Liddell versus Sobral. Liddell versus Ortiz 2. Liddell Couture. St. Pierre versus BJ Penn. Like, this is some of the best shit out there. Just George St. Pierre and BJ Penn fighting each other was something everybody wanted to see back in the day. Now, I wouldn't say it turned out to be like one of the greatest fights ever, but just watching these two fight each other is crazy. Chuck Liddell versus Sobral. Forrest Griffin versus Stephan Bonner. Obviously great. Nick Diaz versus Josh Neer. Watching Nick Diaz fight in the UFC back in the day was sick too. Just watching the way that he carried himself, and then you go through and watch Nate, and it's like, yeah, this was fun. Chuck Congo versus Christian Wellish. I don't even remember this fight. I remember Chuck Congo though. Hermes Franca versus Jamie Varner. That's nuts. Anderson Silva versus Rich Franklin. Insane fight. The fucking knees to the face from Anderson. St. Pierre versus Matt Hughes again. Chuck and Tito. Keith Jardine versus Forrest Griffin. Jason McDonald versus Chris Lieben. Chris Lieben, one of those guys fucking that you would just want to watch because it's exciting. He's fucking always, he's like that, like the dude, the Damage these days, who just goes out there and gets beat up, doesn't know how to do anything until he gets hit and bloodied up, and then all of a sudden he turns into an animal. That's who fucking Chris Lieben was. Andre Arlovsky versus Mauricio Cruz. Bisping versus Eric Schaefer. Thiago Alves versus Tony D'Souza, and Gabriel Gonzaga versus Carmelo Marrero. Holy shit, Gabriel Gonzaga, big ass motherfucker, and could kick you in the head and knock you out, which is crazy if you saw how big he is. If you don't know. 2007. Look at this, All or Nothing recap. We got Nations Collide. These were the ones that they named, which is, watch Anderson Silva versus Travis Lutter, where Anderson Silva fucking got Travis Lutter in a fucking triangle and just elbowed the shit out of his head. But I think he was in trouble against Travis Lutter for a little bit. We actually thought Anderson Silva was gonna lose that fight. Look at all these, man. Fucking Gonzaga versus Crocop, where Gonzaga Crocoped Crocop, which was fucking crazy. He kicked Crocop in the head and fucking buckled his knee and just folded him backwards, the way that Crocop had done to many of people in Pride back in the day. Andre Arlovsky versus Fabricio Verdum. Matt Serra and George St. Pierre. Yeah, that was a crazy ass head kick. Fucking Matt Serra, you know, the underdog, upsetting George St. Pierre and beating him for the title, and then in the rematch he loses it right away. But one of the biggest upsets in history still. Michael Bisping versus Elvis Sinosek. I haven't heard that name in forever. Machida versus David Heath. What do we got? Terry Edom. Damn. Chet Congo versus I can't even say that dude's name. Who else? Dennis Seaver. Alessio Sakara was a crazy looking fool, but you know, he's kind of like D-Rod. Alessio Sakara was like D-Rod, where he's got all these tattoos. He looks like this crazy fool that just got out the joint, but yet he gets fucked up when he gets in the cage. I mean, I give D-Rod his props for what he's done, but you know, you see him get beat up so much, it's crazy. Rampage versus Chuck. What was your favorite fight from that era? I love Pat Barry versus Chet Congo was insane, bro. Insane. But I still love Chuck Liddell beating the shit out of Tito Ortiz. It's hard for me to get past that one. And of course, Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner, that Ultimate Fighter finale. That shit is insane, man. It's hard to get past that. Anderson Silva versus Nate Marquardt. Dude, these are all just some great fights that you can go back and watch. Like Anderson Silva versus Rich Franklin is one of those fights I could rewatch for sure. Josh Koscheck, if you guys know who Josh Koscheck is. Chuck Liddell versus Vanderlei Silva. That's insane. The Axe Murderer coming in. He wasn't what he was in Pride, but he definitely came in and made his mark in the UFC. CM Punk.
Get your fucking shit together, my God.
Oh shit. Oh man, I could go through these. I mean, I'm at 2007. Let's see. Should I keep going on this one or jump to the 20s? Let's just see who's in 2009. I didn't click it. Where is it? Why wouldn't it go to 2009? What the fuck? Well, I guess that means I need to get out. Let me get back. Let's go to the 20s real quick. Or the 10s, I'm sorry. What was I saying? 20s? Fights from 2010. Oh, shit. Cain Velasquez. What was the best pay-per-view from 07, you think? Oh. Fuck, I just clicked off of it. I don't know. I'd have to look through them again, because it's hard for me to remember which was in what year. But moving to 2010, we got Nogueira versus Velasquez. Lesnar versus Carwin was crazy to watch these two big motherfuckers going at it. Soteropoulos and Stevenson. Oh, Ryan Bader versus Keith Jardine. I wasn't even born in 07. Goddamn, Tyler. Oh, man. Chris Lytle was a fun guy. Lights Out Lytle. Fun guy to watch fight. I mean, you know, he lost enough, but he was fun to watch fight. George St. Pierre versus Dan Hardy. Those are some good fights for sure. Nate Diaz versus Rory Markham. Anderson Silva versus Damian Maia was that shit show of a fight that Dana White was fucking pissed about. Because Anderson Silva just respected Damian Maia too much, and it was just a shit show of a fight. It was boring as fuck. Nobody did anything, and Dana White was absolutely pissed. And I think that's when the relationship between Anderson Silva and the UFC was on the rocks and went bad. Chuck Liddell versus Rich Franklin. Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen, when fucking Chael Sonnen damn near beat Anderson Silva and then decided to go for fucking a takedown when he probably shouldn't have, or went for a submission when he shouldn't have, or some shit. I think it was a takedown when he was beating Anderson on the feet, and he went for a takedown and got himself stuck in a triangle, and fucking Anderson beat him in the last minutes of the last round, where if Chael would have just hung on, he could have been the champ, and he didn't do it. One of the biggest fails ever, that like was so goddamn close to becoming a champion, he never did. Nate Diaz versus Marcus Davis. The Irish hand grenade, that fool was crazy too. He was fun to watch fight, even though he would lose a lot. But what else? George St. Pierre and Koscheck. Let's see. I know there's some other good ones in here. Let's go to 2012. Let's skip years. Why is it doing this? All right, here's another complaint. What the fuck is happening here? I'm clicking on 2012 and it's not going. All right, well, I guess it's not gonna let me go. Oh shit, I didn't realize what time it was. I'm too busy going through all these old fights. Well, there's a little taste of it for you, Tyler, especially because you can't see this. At least I don't think so. And if you can, maybe not easily. But yeah. So you got 2010 all the way to 19 on this one. And I would love to go through more, but it's not letting me select it for some fucking reason. So I'll just let it go because it's about time to wrap it up anyway. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get out of that. But that was a good blast from the past, man. That's the type of shit I like doing. It's fun to talk about those old fights because you start seeing them. You see the matchups and you're like, hey, this is what happened then. This was this fight. That was that fight. And as much as hey, thank you. All is good for jumping in and interacting. I appreciate you. Thanks for reminding me about the sound drop too.
What's happening with you, man?
But great shows tonight, man. Really enjoyed these late night. Oh, yeah, thank you, Antoine. I appreciate you for being here. Thanks for continuing to come back, man. I know you just started a few shows ago, but appreciate you for coming back, really. Meant to ask, do you like doing card breakdowns as well? Just curious. That's what I usually do. You jumped in at a weird time because there's nothing going on. But as soon as the regular shit starts, on Thursdays, I do previews of the upcoming event. And then on Sundays, I do recaps. So I'll break down all the fights beforehand for the previews and talk about, and I do a fight wheel. So I do fight wheel predictions because I suck at betting and I suck at picks. So like this was the last one. So I let the fight wheel pick randomly and then we see how it does after, the event happens. So yeah, I usually do breakdowns and shit. I do breakdowns and recaps and previews and all that shit. So we'll definitely get back to that as soon as everything comes back to normal. You just happened to jump in when I was in the middle of everything. So thanks, man. You too. Thank you again for jumping in. I appreciate all you guys for being here and hanging out with me and talking things through and sticking around while we just did something that I don't usually do. So, and whoever has to punch the clock tomorrow, yeah, I definitely do. So, but yeah, thank you guys for jumping in, hanging out, and sticking with it. And I appreciate all of you for coming back. Make sure you come back on Sunday. I'll have something going on. I'm not exactly sure what yet. I'm sorry, Sunday. I meant Thursday. Infinity. Yeah, come back on Thursday. I'll have some more content for you. We'll go through more shit, older shit, and maybe I'll watch some of these fights and we can break down and talk about some of these old fights. Now that you've seen what's on here, if you hadn't seen it yet, go check out some of these older fights and maybe leave some comments. Make sure if you're here, you like this video while you're here, please. I'd appreciate that. I forgot to mention my sponsor, Noctane smelling salts. I didn't even take a whiff today. I forgot because I jumped into things right away, but thank you, Noctane, for the sponsorship. Please make sure you scan that QR code or hit the link in the description below and you can go learn about smelling salts, find out the 3 different potencies they have. This is the most potent with the red cap, and also find out the good uses for smelling salts. I use them all the time. I forgot to today because I jumped into shit so quick, but thank you guys. It's because of you all that kept me going and got me started right away. So that's it for me though. I appreciate you, Noctane, for the sponsorship, and I appreciate all you guys for being in here and hanging out. Come back on Thursday and we'll have some more good stuff coming at you. Until then though, that's it for me. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.
What's happening with you, man?